Tony and Corey here, your weekend warriors. Welcome to the show.
Today we're going to be converting this old, unfinished shed into a finished space.
Kind of like you, Tony, old and unfinished.
Oh, nice. We're going to encounter a lot of things in here while we're trying to do this, as would you if you were doing the same sort of a thing. We're going to cover all of those things as we do it. We've got some air sealing, Corey, to keep the cold air out and the warm air in. We've got to protect some of the electrical wiring in there with some nail stops. We're going to sheetrock, tape, mud, texture, and we're even going to put some carpet tiles on the floor. And then when it's done, what's your grand plan?
We're going to turn this into the Weekend Warriors Workshop, where we're going to be recording our weekly radio program that we broadcast all over the Pacific Northwest.
The Weekend Warriors Home Improvement Show, built by Parr Lumber.
Feel free to check that out.
You know, there's a potential, Corey, that we're going to come across some areas where shortcuts were taken when this was built, specifically because it wasn't intended to be a finished space. We're going to need to be aware of those issues when we try to convert it now.
Should we get started?
We should get started. Let's go.
So you know, Tony, since this shed was never designed or intentionally built to be finished, some of the things that should be on a typical application aren't here.
Sill sealer, for example.
Exactly, like foam sill sealer.
This would have been on the floor underneath the bottom plate of the wall to keep hot and cold air, moisture, and bugs from coming inside. But because it was intended to be a storage space, they didn't use it. So now we have to use this.
That's right, and I'm using OSI Quad Max. This is my favorite caulking. It guns super easy in hot or cold. You can apply it in wet weather and it will still cure. It's a great product. So I'm going to use that at the bottom plate and in between each stud against the sheathing on the exterior wall all the way around, and that'll seal up all of that cold air and any moisture and bugs that want to come in.
Perfect, let's get that done.
Here's another tip with your caulking. You've got a brand new tube, you've just cut the tip off, and you need to puncture that little piece of foil. You take this piece here, or you can take a nail, anything, old screw. What you want to do is when you put it in the tip like that, you want to run it around in a circular motion and really widen that up. Because if you just puncture it with one little hole, that foil inside there is really tough. And a lot of times when you put pressure on the end of the caulking gun with the gun, the caulking will want to worm out and fill that void, and it's going to be really difficult to gun. So if you've ever had a new tube of caulk that you've put in your caulking gun and it's really hard to come out, check that you've really opened that foil up. We're good to go. So essentially what you're doing is after you're done pulling that bead, there's pressure on here, and as soon as you push this trigger here, it releases the pressure on the tube and prevents excess caulking from squeezing out at the end. Dunzo.